Greetings, brothers and sisters. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. Adnastana. It is a cold winter's day, and I was craving one of these. But I also wanted to catch up with you and kind of, like I said, do some catching up. But one of the things I wanted to catch up on was some administrative points. This particular segment, I want to do some, like I said, catching up, but also want to bring up, part of it will be viewer feedback.
Ladies and gentlemen, seekers of light and secret knowledge wherever you may be, you are listening to Points of Light Radio, the podcast dedicated to taking you past the apron and behind the closed doors of lodges everywhere. And here is your host, Stan Miller.
So let's start with the feedback, brothers and sisters. April 3rd, 2022. Hard to believe this particular podcast has been around that long. We had a viewer say that Justice, in the feedback section of that particular segment, said Justice Rathbone testified that he wrote the ritual for the Knights of Pythias in 1858 at the age of 19. He was too young to be a member of any standard secret order in his area at that point, including Freemasonry. And he stated he had no insight into any of the ritual. He did become a Freemason between the time of planning and actually founding the order in 1864. However, as well as joining the Sons of Malta and the Order of Redmond. That's interesting. I didn't know he was involved in either of those. The ritual has undergone many revisions, most of them do, though I would be surprised if there was not influence from other orders and philosophies over time. Most orders, the rituals do have, adjustments and revisions over time. That has happened probably even to Freemasonry. I appreciate that feedback, though, and him bringing that up. Now, the April 24th, 2022 segment on the Elks, there is a gentleman that said, and this is the thing that I will say about this podcast, what we've done here. This gentleman said that he said that he was a Mason, 32nd degree Mason, and got disillusioned with Freemasonry after 6 years. He was thinking of joining the Elks. He said this too seemed very similar. There are differences, probably very definite differences between the two that you're going to see, very distinct differences between Elks and Freemasonry. Right, but I'm glad that I've raised awareness of the Elks to someone who's looking at getting back into fraternalism. There was a gentleman that said, in the feedback said, I've been an Elk for 13 years, club president for 5, and I still love it. I've been to 6 Grand Lodge conventions, and I'm going again next year. He said, don't forget what we do for veterans and college scholarships. Of course they do. And I personally love the charitable work that the Elks do. Right? A gentleman said that I joined the Elks and I've been in it for 4 years. I was initiated when I was 43 years old. And that's about how old I was when I began my fraternal journey as well. It's never too late. Right? A contributor to the comments here by the name of Point You Out said, I am a real Elk historian here. Ask me anything. The Elks are really just a service order now. Right? Well, I would digress. I don't think they're necessarily just a service order. I think they go further than that. The May 1st, 2022 segment of Points of Light Radio was on the Free Gardeners. And one of my people who contributed to the comment section said there are free gardeners lodges in Guyana too. There's the Saffron Flower Lodge number 220. And I would say, please put me in touch with them. I would love to interview them, right? A gentleman named Joshua Valencia contributed, you have a lot of cool variety and it seems really awesome. People are interested in this stuff, and I think it will grow. Just keep finding good topics. Well, I keep doing that, right? Are you a brother Mason? The answer to that is no. I get asked that all the time. I see your channel is kind of new, and it was at that point, but it looks really well put together. Well, I appreciate that. Someone else commented, were there any other lodges in the U.S.? Yes, there is one lodge, I will answer that, in Virginia. Hopefully there will be more soon. The lodge in Virginia never did return any of my inquiries. The May 5th, 2022 segment of Points of Light Radio was on the Moose. Sport 872 commented, I think another video on the Royal Black Institution would be good. All right, well, I have done a number of segments on the Royal Black Preceptory since then. So, someone else in the feedback section commented, the Knights of Columbus and the Ancient Order of Hibernians are two of the fraternal orders that I'd be interested in. And I have featured the Hibernians. I'm still trying to feature the Knights of Columbus. Someone else commented, I have enjoyed the videos on the Orange Order. Some more, I'd like to hear more about their symbols and their history and some news. Well, I have some of the Orange Order, Orange Lodges can be rather cagey with their symbolism. I think their symbolism, if you looked online, you'd learn more about that. I have done a number of segments since this particular comment was put on there about the Orange Order. I have this gentleman said that I commented, I regularly check for videos on the YouTube channel and Spotify. I'm just about to watch the Hammerman segment on the Hammermans of Glasgow. And I'd never heard about them until I saw your channel. Well, that's what Points of Light here is to do. Part of what we're here to do is to raise that profile. Don't 1893 commented, is the Moose Lodge part of Freemasonry? The answer to that is no. On June 6, 2022, this was the first segment that we did with my old buddy, Owen Snowden. Someone commented, I'm a member of the RAOB in Canada. I'm not sure who the host has spoken to here, but I can assure you that we're not hiding from anyone. I am the Grand Secretary for the Grand Lodge of Ontario, which governs lodges in Ontario, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Alberta, and one lodge in the Barbados. We, like many other orders, have lost many members over the years, and I find it hard to get the younger adults interested in our organization. To answer a question that you asked on Snowden, who I do know, what do we tell members about the Buffs? We tell them that we are a fraternal organization whose main ideals is to help members who are ill or fall on hard times, and also to help and support different charities in each lodge's local area. Right? Well, I'm going to be honest with you. This particular gentleman that commented, all I can tell you is that I've reached out to him and he's yet to get back to me. Also, all your lodges turned me down here in Western Canada, like in no uncertain terms. Okay. So if you're having trouble getting people interested, well, okay. Right. I mean, all I got when I tried to get in touch with your lodges out here, right, was this effect. Now, my friend Owen Snowden came back on June 20th, 2022 to talk about the Loyal Orange Lodge. A brother in New Brunswick, Bill Annis, commented, "I'm an Orangeman and I enjoyed it." Well, yes, it was. It's wonderful to hear members of the Orange in Canada chiming in. TJ Clark commented, "A note on prating. The prating is meant to be a sort of reenactment of the Williamite Army's march to the River Boyne." That's quite interesting. Now, on September 22nd, 2022, Tony Muhammad was here on Points of Light Radio. Was the past Grand Master of John G. Jones Grand Lodge in California, the Freemasons. Joshua Valencia commented on, "I've been waiting for this one." He said it was a 10 out of 10, excellent interview, and video was very informative. I'm glad to hear you enjoyed it. Brandon, is this interviewer a Mason? This is what this comment from Brandon. Is this interviewer a Mason? Referring to me. He's asking questions as a person with no clue, right? Well, I'm not a Mason. I've never claimed to be a Mason. Now, one of the things that you will notice, that even if I'm a member of one of the fraternal orders that I am featuring, I always try to ask as an outsider looking in, because those are the questions my viewers that are from outside these orders would be asking, right? I mean, the outside looking in approach is working. A gentleman named Jerry Diamond commented that he had subscribed to me on Points of Light Radio, and this was my first experience with this channel. Well, I'm welcome aboard, Jerry. I'm glad that people are actually taking an interest in this. On November 25th, 2022, I interviewed the Protestant Knights of Malta, a gentleman named Will Wilkinson, and he was a historian and member of the ancient and illustrious Order of the Knights of Malta. David's Chosen Few, number 21, encamped in North Antrim. Adrian Bradley commented that over the years, I have mistakenly assumed that a candidate for the Knights of Malta has to be and had received the degrees of the Independent Loyal Orange Institution. This video has corrected me on that false assumption. Well, we're all learning as we go along here, Adrian. And that's part of what we're here to do on Points of Light Radio, right? We're here to teach you things like that. And by the way, Adrian, you've commented on various, I will cover some more of your feedback on later, either in this particular segment or in others. And I will tell you right now, I would love to interview you. Sports 872 commented, have you interviewed anyone from the Apprentice Boys of Derry or done a discussion on them? If you recall, I did, since he commented, I have interviewed the Canadian Apprentice Boys of Derry. All of the Northern Ireland clubs and the ones in the UK turned me down in no uncertain terms. That's all I'm going to say about that. My buddy Owen Snowden returned on December 16th, 2022, to discuss the World Black Preceptory. And Adrian Bradley once again chimed in, I loved every second of this video with Sir Knight Snowden. I would be interested in joining Odd Fellowship, but there are no lodges in Northern Ireland where I live, and some of the branches that exist in the United Kingdom are only social without fraternal degrees aspect. Wrong. They would still be working a degree system. Okay, I can tell you that right now. Right, that's just, and you can always be a member at large of one in another part of the United Kingdom, Adrian. I did tell you that in the comment section. But Adrian Bradley went on to say, after seeing this video, I'm glad that I'm not the only person who collects fraternal items of orders that they're not a member of. Although I haven't anywhere near as many artifacts as Sir Knight Snowden. Well, I don't think any of us have the amount of fraternal items that Mr. Snowden has. I love that guy. And I love you too, Mr. Bradley. There you go, brothers and sisters. That is the feedback from 2022. I'll cover feedback from 2023 in a future segment of Points of Light Radio, but I think it's important, given what we've discussed, that we talk about, we talk about what you've seen and heard so far. I put this off way too long. I should have done this segment a lot earlier, and that's one of the reasons I'm bringing it to you now, because I want you to understand I do read your feedback. I do try to return feedback and so on. And I will also point out that you only heard today the feedback I get on my YouTube channel. You didn't hear the feedback that I get on my Facebook page, okay? But I will say this, and I think you heard it in the comments as I read the comments. I think you heard this. If this podcast has done anything, it has definitely helped raise that profile. If it's achieving that, right? Raising the profile of these different fraternal orders, right? And I will say this, it's also based on things I heard, feedback I get off my Facebook page. It has piqued the interest of some of the non-initiated. I do recall when I tried to reach out to a fraternal order in the United Kingdom. I will say this, this particular gentleman, I was referred to him by a brother from his organization. I'm not going to name the organization, but the man was rather scathing with me when I was talking to him over the phone. He definitely hadn't seemed to really read the email that I sent him, but he kept asking me, we just want to know what you're trying to do. We just want to know what you're trying to do. That's just I'm saying it very mildly compared to what I was hearing over the phone. And I kept saying to him, but we're here to raise the profile and preserve the history. I mean, that's what we're here to do. And I can tell you right now, if he didn't think, he goes, well, what benefit is it to us? Well, I want to tell you right now, one of the benefits is there are people getting involved in fraternalism right now. Some of my viewers and listeners and viewers have got involved in fraternalism as a result of what they've seen on my podcast. I'm quite proud to say that, right? And I can't tell you how much the feedback from my listeners and viewers has meant to me. Right? I love it when I hear people say, I hadn't heard of this organization before. Right? I love that. Don't you? I don't know about you, but I take great pride in that. Right? Right. So we are really doing something here, and this journey that we're taking together, that we embarked on more than 2 years ago now. Okay, we're definitely like we're I don't know about you, but I've really enjoyed this journey that we've been taking together. Right. And I enjoy the fact that we this has been something, doing this. And I want to do another, like I keep saying, I want to do another one of these segments later on. I mean, and keep giving me your comments and input, please, folks, because I really do enjoy it. And it really is not only is encouraging, it gives me an idea of what you, the listener and viewer, where the listener and viewer want to go. Okay. So, and that's very important to hear. Right. But I'm going to leave it there for now. Before I go, I want to remind you that this podcast is available on both YouTube and Spreaker. Again, I want to encourage you, please share, like, and subscribe when viewing Points of Light Radio on YouTube. And I do welcome, as I keep saying this, I do welcome your comments and input. You can follow Points of Light Radio on my Facebook page at facebook.com/Points of Light Radio. My Twitter handle is @PO Light Radio. You can see the link to my Spotify channel, as well as my Points of Light Radio store. Brothers and sisters, it's been a pleasure. And until we fellowship again, just step into the light.